welcome back. Now, what we're going to be focusing on is web page design. So I'm going to be using Google Sites to create a web page. But in the meantime, what I'm going to be doing is to upload some of the logos as our banners and welcome signs and a user created document that I had done. I'm going to upload it to my drive. So I'm going to click on Google Apps, look for Drive, select Drive, and allow for it to open. Once it opens, what I'm going to be doing is to upload an entire folder to my Google Drive. So I'm going to click on New. Now I know that I can right click anywhere on an empty space on the like here and do the same, but I'm going to click on folder upload. Now file upload is to upload one single file. Now if I want to upload an entire folder with files, I can click on file upload. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to allow for that to load up, and once it loads up, I am going to go to my desktop. Once I go to my desktop, I am going to select Creative Learning Space. That's the name of the website that I'm going to be creating. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to select Upload. Now it will prompt me if I want to upload the 3 folders there, but I think it's safe. So I'm just going to select Upload, allow for it to upload. And once it is finished uploading, it is now, I am going to right click on it and select share. Now share allows for persons, once they have the link to a document within the folder, that they're able to see it. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the restricted on the general access. I'm going to select that and click on the one that says anyone with the link. So once I share, like for example, a document in the folder, anyone that has the link on the website will be able to gain access to it. So I'm going to select done. Now, once you look on it, it should allow for the documents. Let's close here. Let's click on that to let you see. Here are the documents, and it allows for the content to be shared. So I have my logo as well as a welcome sign and a user created file. So I'm going to close out that, and then I'll open a new tab. Once I open a new tab, I'm just going to go ahead and select Google Sites. I type it in, it's already there. So I'm going to select Google Site New. But for those persons who would not have it in that option, once you type it in the URL or search bar, it will be the first option that comes up once you select enter. So I'm going to click on that. It should take me to Google Sites. Now, once it gets to Google Sites, I'm going to have to ensure that it is not on my previous email, but on the email that I want it to be. So I'm just going to over here, and right there, it's on my personal email. So let me just change that by clicking on this one and just close this site. So yes. All right, so we are now on Google Sites. So I'm going to be clicking on blank. I will not be using any of the templates to create the website for the CSEC syllabus. So I'm going to click on blank, allow for it to load. Now, as you can see at the top, it's untitled site. So I'm going to give it a name. Now I'm going to be giving it the name of the company that I'm working with. So just highlight Creative Learning Space. That will appear below. So let's just press enter. It appears here as well. Now, as you can see it as add logo. Now, if I want to put my own creative logo to it, I can go ahead. But for now, I'm not going to, because the banner that I'm going to place here will have the logo on it. So I'm not going to go through that. So let's just minimize this page. So I'm going to go to the option here and minimize. So I'm going to go back here, select change image. Now upload is if it's on my computer local drive and I want to bring it to the internet, while select is actually images that are already on the internet. So I'm going to select. There's a gallery with some options, not so towards the topic that you may be doing. So gallery is not the first option. You can go by URL if you know where an image is. You can search for an image via Google, or if you have the image in your Google Drive like I do, I'm going to select Google Drive. Once I'm in my drive, I'm going to go to the folder that I had uploaded earlier. So I'm going to go to Creative Learning Space, and I'm going to select the first image, that's my banner, and I'm going to go ahead and select. It is going to adjust it for readability so that it can be seen. So I'm just going to give it some time to do that before I proceed. So here you go. It's adjusting it. So I'll give it some time. So this banner that I have created and placed on the home page, the default page, is actually a banner that I want on all my pages so that it creates that uniformity. So I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to adjust the header type. Now, just to show you, you can have it as a cover to cover the entire page, or a large banner, expand it some more, or you can have it as banner a little bit smaller than the large banner, or if you want the title alone with no banner. Now, having a banner makes it looks a little bit more professional. So I'm going to change it to large banner so that the creative learning can be a little bit below the name of the page. So let's go to large banner. Now, once I select large banner, it is going to affect it. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to also turn off the readability, because the readability was there because they want to show this text much brighter. So I'm going to turn that off. And then I am going to adjust the anchoring of the image so that I can bring it over a little bit. So let's bring that over to the left. So it is there. Let me minimize a little more so that I can see. So it is at 90. Do note that once the page decreases, it will affect the actual image that you have here. So one thing that you can do is actually research the size of the banner for 100% for the Google sites, so that when you create your banner, which I use Canva for, you can create your banner in Canva or whatever other platform, post on my wall, etc., to have a nice banner. So I've adjusted the size, and I am going to take off this title. So let's click on it. Let's delete this so that it's no longer there. So my home page has a banner now. So I'm going to go ahead and add new pages. So let's go to pages, and I'm going to select add new page or new page. So we have new menu section, full page, new link, and new page. So I'm going to left click on that, give it a name. So it's about us. That's my page that I want to create. And then if you look, you realize that the About Us page, it comes with the header or the banner, that I actually had placed in the header from the home. So it's copying that information. If I didn't put a banner in, it would have been the same background as the original. And then I could have gone through and individually put in my banner. But it makes it easier when I already have it on the home page. So I'm going to click again, and I'm going to add a services page. Done. So it also creates my services page. Now, one of the reasons why I decided to do 3 pages is because that's based on your syllabuses. Your syllabus, it actually requires no more than 3. Now, on an actual website, you will find more than 3 web pages, okay? So let us go through and do understand the audience that you're doing it for. So whatever you're designing should be to please the audience that you have. So I'm just going to go back to my home, and not my home. The home is default. It came with the site. Just have to change a little thing to it, but I added the other two. I am going to adjust about us, the title. So let's just change that. You can change it to the size that are available, the options that are available. So let's just scroll down. I'm looking for a particular one. I'm not seeing that as yet. So I think I know why. Let's just go back into the theme. Let me hold off on the theme first. Let me go through something and show you first before I get to that point. Now, if you look, you recognize that home, about us, and services are actually in your menu at the top, right? Now I can change that from the top and put it to the side. So I click on the gear for navigation setting. Once I click on it, I can change it from the top, put it to the side. Here you go, it's at the side. I can also change it from transparent to white and black. Now, white and black is not the standard one or the only ones. Once you change the theme, that can also change the navigation color, okay? Background color. Now, brand image is where the logo would go. So you can upload or select a logo, but we're not doing that. Well, I'm not doing that for this site. You have viewers tool, not going to focus on that, but you also have announcement banner. Now, announcement banner is basically what you want to display on your site. Let's say you're having a sales and you want persons to know about it. The first thing that they see on your site. You want the text to run across the screen or to blink. You can use your announcement banner. You can show banner for it to be seen. You can change the color of the banner. You can add the message for the banner that you want. If you want a button, if you want any form of link to it, you can add that to it. You can also set it, let's say you want persons to click and it opens into a new tab, you can do that. You can set it that it's on the home page only or all pages. So for visibility. So if you want it only on the home page being shown at the top, or you want it at the all pages, then you can go ahead and do that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and change the toggle. Don't want it on mine. So, but you, if it depend on the question you got for your SB and you want to add a little more flavor to it, you can. So I'm going to close that. So the only thing I changed was the navigation. All right. So I'm going to close this. So you realize that my navigation is now to the side, right? So let's go back to the page. Now, what I'm going to do now is to actually change my theme. Now, your theme, you have where you can create some theme for yourself or import a theme, but you actually have some that you can choose from. So if I click on vision, this is what I was talking about. It changed the background for the menu option, but I prefer level. So when I click on level, it gives me that background. If I want to add more colors or change it from the yellow to, let's say, the blue, I can. So you can change it. So you can also change the color. So let's say I want to add more color or a different color. I can click on the paint can. If I have the XR code, I can put that in, enter it and change it. But let's let it stay with the yellow. And we're finished with the theme. All right, so let's go back to home. We're on the home page. I'm going to go to about me and I want to make some adjustment to that. So let's highlight that and I'm going to change the font style. As you could have seen, when it's on a different theme, it would have different font styles. So the theme will indicate the font style that goes with it. So I'm going to change to Arvo. And I'm going to change it to 48. Let's go to 48. Good. I'm going to minimize it a little bit. Good. And I'm going to drag it over. As you can see, it shows where it can go. And I'm going to put it here so that it can see it. That's one of the reasons why I turned off the readability. And then I put it in a white background so that it can see what it's about. I'm going to go to services as well. Going to do the same. highlight, leave it as title, change the font style, Arvo, and I'm going to make sure that I maintain my size, the size of the text and the text. So there we go. Minimize it. Once I minimize it, I can drag it over using my left click and drag, and then I release it onto the space that's there. And that's how I add my pages, as well as adding a banner to the pages and tweak the text that is on each page that I have created. All right, so please note that all of this that you're seeing here is just for the designer or the editor's view. We have not done anything as yet so that others can see. Later on in the video, you will basically see that. I'll show you it. One of the things that we have to highlight is that I'm focusing mainly on the things that are required by the syllabus. So your hypertext, you're adding your text, deleting text, as you would have seen with home when I remove that text from it or change the text to about us and services. So you will see me using, and I will point out the different things that I'm doing throughout and what we have accomplished. So we're now back on the home page. Now, once we're on the home page, I am going to be adding a welcome banner or just a welcome sign. Now, I use Canva, as I had mentioned before, using different tools to create things. I use Canva to create a welcome sign. So I can go to insert. So let's utilize this tab. So insert tab, we're going to put in an image. But let me point out that under insert, you have text box if you wish to write a text. You have embed if you want to write your code itself. You have the drive if you want to insert a file from the drive. Content block, that's if you want to utilize the image and text beside it, whether it's 1, 2, and 3 pictures that will have the large and 2 small. If you want to have 3 content blocks, if you want to have 2 and have the text beside, or 4 and text below. So you can utilize that, which we will use in a few seconds. You have the collapsible group. So let's say you want to have some items that you have in your business, you can create a group where persons can collapse it, click on the drop down box to see everything, and then click it if they don't want to see it, especially if you have a large amount of content on your page and you want to make sure that it's not too much, it's user friendly. You can use this. Table of content, a listing of the pages and different areas on your site. You have image carousel, and let me click it for you to see. Image carousel, you are able to add numerous pictures, at least 2. You can add to create. I'm sure you would have seen websites where it has a picture that is moving from one, then you see an arrow and it moves to another picture and it slides like a small slideshow. So we have an image carousel where you can add as many images as you wish. By clicking on this option, and you can insert your image, add more than one, rearrange, and then you can insert when you're through. Now, I won't be using the image carousel, but you can also use it depending on the type of site that you're doing. So we can cancel that. You have button, which we will be using. So I won't show you much of that now. You have divider. So let's say you want to have content and then a line to separate the content. You can use that. If you want a space instead of a line, you can use your spacer. You can also have social media links to different sites, which I'm going to also show you. Placeholder if you just want to have a gap in your work. YouTube, if you want to add a video, you can go ahead and add. Calendar, if you want to add that as well, a map. And you have document, slides, sheets, and forms. That's if you want to add, as well as charts, if you want to add those from Google. So we're going to start from the top, as I said, to insert an image. So let's go to image. It's going to give us back the same update and select. It's in Google Drive, so I'm just going to go ahead and select. Give it some time, then go to my drive. Now, the recent ones that I just uploaded will be first. So let's just click on this one with the welcome. And I'm going to select insert or select, sorry. Now, once it comes up, it's a little bit small, but let's look at the options that are available. I can crop the image, uncrop the image. So what I took off, I can get it back. I can also use that image as a link. So I can use it, convert it into a button itself. I can also have I can delete it from there, or I can actually replace it, have an alternative text so that in case the image doesn't come up, you see a text, or I can also add a caption talking about what is in that image. All right. So like sometimes you have pictures and you will tell who is at the back, who's at the front. You can do that with the caption. All right. So let's make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use the corners to enlarge it. All right. Now, as you can see, it crops it, right? So I'm going to uncrop it so that it actually widens it to the original stage. And I'm going to also try to make sure that it is centered, so it's even. All right, so let's release that. Now it's even. So I have my banner and my welcome. Good, good. So we're then going to add a text box, so that I can actually have a guide to the website so you can click on to go to the page. Another area that is required by the syllabus to have hyperlinks to other pages, web pages. All right, so let's go here. I want it right here. I'm going to put a text box, and I am going to change that from normal to actually a title. Good. I'm going to center the text. I'm going to change it from Roboto to actually Arvo. I'm going to let it be at 38, and I'm going to have website guide. Try to make it as user-friendly as possible. I'm going to change this to section color and give it the yellow background, style 3. So now it emphasizes that area. And I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to utilize the content block for 2. So I'm going to press on that. The content block allows for us to add image and text. Documents is a little bit trickier. So we're going to add some images. So right here, I'm going to change delete the text because I don't need any text below here. So I'm going to select delete, click here as well, delete, don't want that. Click here, delete, delete. Good. Now I'm going to click on the add button and I'm going to select image. Now I don't have any image in the drive. I don't have any, I'm not going to upload. So I'm going to look on the internet for an image for About Us. So let's ignore the drive and let us go to Google image. So I'm going to type in About Us. Look for an image. Now it's going to give me an image that doesn't have copyright on it. So when you won't have a lot of options. So we have About Us. So that's why many times we just create them ourselves. So we have About Us. Let's go again. We have another page that's services. So let's get an image for services. Let's go services. I'm going to choose this one because if you look, you realize that there's not a lot of options for services. So I'm going to select this image, insert. Good. So I have 2 images for what I need for the 2 pages. So those are hyperlinks to pages. So if you click on About Us, you will realize that it has the same uncropped and cropped as well as linked. So I'm going to click on the link option and you will see that it actually brings up the 2 pages that are on the site. So I'm going to click on About Us, apply. You see it appear here. Click here, insert, click on the line, services, applied. And so I now have two images that once you click on them, you can go to the actual site, all right, or the page. Then the next thing I want to do is that I want to add an employee form, another section to the homepage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a spacer. So here's a spacer. So here's my spacer. I'm going to give a color to my spacer, same like the one above. Now, spacer is not the text. You can't write in it. So that's why I used a text box earlier. The spacer is just to add an extra space between some white spaces. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to get a text box. Once I get a text box, I'm going to change it to the text that I'm using. I'm going to change it from normal text and I'm going to put it as a heading, and I'm going to also center it. Employment form. This is for persons who are looking to apply to creative learning space. So I'm going to bold that heading. Oh, it didn't change, so let me change it. Awesome. And then at this point, I'm not going to change the background color to it. What I can do is set it that it doesn't have any shading. So I'm going to select the second option. So the first one gives a white background, and this one should remove the background. This one gives it a yellow background based on my theme. So there you go. We don't have that. So employee form, I am going to select one of these options. Again, as I said, I could have used a button, but I'm using images to create my buttons. This is an example of a button. You give it a name. So let's go test. What's my link? About us. Insert. There is the text, the button. I can change it from fill to outline, from outline to text, so you don't see anything around it. But that's not what I want. So I'm going to delete that. Go back to the content block. I'm going to select the first option. Now it gives me an error for an image and it gives me an error for text. Ooh, now I'm going to change something. I'm going to take this from here. So I'm going to Control Z to to cut, and I'm going to Control V to paste. So this space that's here, I'm going to just delete it. So as you can see, we're adding text, deleting errors and text. I'm deleting that section. I want it to just be on the area, and here's the text. All right, so I add a small text. So if you are interested in joining the staff here at Creative Learning Space, please click on the image on the left, which I'm going to add shortly. Or I'm going to write C employment form, put it in bracket, just for, as I said, allowing for the page to be user friendly. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus here, select an image. Once I select an image, I'm going to go, I don't have that image on my computer, or in the drive. So I'm going to go to Google Images and I'm going to look for employment form. Look for an image that I like. I'm going to go with the first one, application, and I'm going to click on it and select insert. So here it is. Now, as you can see, I have the image, I have the text, but as I said, I want you to click on that image. So you will see the insert link. But if I click on insert link, it is going to just bring up what's on the site. Now, that particular form is in my drive. So let me go to my drive, give it some time. Let's just go to the Creative Learning Space folder, double tap. Now here is the employment form. Now it's a fillable form that was created in Microsoft Word. Now I want to add it. Again, I could have uploaded from my computer, but to have everything in one space, so it makes it easier to work through, I just place it in a folder and then I upload it to my drive. So I'm just going to go ahead and right click and get link. So I'm going to select get link. Once I do that, a window is going to pop up and it's already stated that anyone with the link can view. So I'm going to select. Now I can change from view to comment or edit, but I don't want that. So I leave it at viewer and then I'm going to select copy link. Once I do that, it says link copied, done. I'm going to go back to my site. Where it says link, I'm going to Control and V, which is space, and then I'm going to apply. So this image is now clickable and it has an hyperlink. I can also, let's highlight see employment form. If you look, you see right here, insert link. So let's click on that. Control V. Let's change it from common letters, capital letters right here. I'm going to apply. Now, as you can see, it's underlined. So it allows a person to click on it. Now, we're not going to test the hyperlinks as yet. So far, we have inserted and selected text and graphics. Good. We have also have a link on the home page. So the home page has links to other pages. We also linked to other web pages. And then we are going to actually have, we actually link to user created file. So we have a few more things to do, to link to an email as well as to link to an area within the web page. So we have a few little things that we have left to do. All right. So we have already created or inserted or banner, the welcome image. We have added a guide, so you can click on about us as well as services. And then we have the employment form so that persons who wish to apply can apply. Later on, I'll show you as the hypertext, as we use the hyperlinks, sorry. Now, the next thing that I am going to be doing is to actually add links to other pages. So the other pages that I'm referring to would be my social media links. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So let's scroll down and we're going to select social links. So I'm going to click on that. Once I click on it, this window will pop up. That allows for me to add images as well as the link to those images, the sites. So I'm going to not upload, but select, because I'm going to search Google as you recognized before. So let's go to Google Images. The first one that I want to add is my LinkedIn logo. Let's search. We're going to look for a LinkedIn image. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and select a circular one. Mind you, we can set it to circle, we can set it to square, but I'm just going to go ahead and select the circular ones. All right, so let's try this one. Insert. So the image is there. I'm then going to go to my LinkedIn page and get the URL for it to paste here. So let's go to my LinkedIn. Let's just copy the URL, click on it, Control C, go back to the page, Control V. Let's get the other one is going to be YouTube. So, well, let's try Facebook first. So let's select. No, Instagram and YouTube. So let's go to Google Images. So let's type in Instagram logo. We're going to look for one. You see that there's one that's similar to the one that I had selected before. I want to keep it uniformed. So I'm going to select insert. then go to my Instagram page, copy, go back here, Control and C, and then Control and V. Now I can right click and press copy and paste, yes, but for shortcuts, there it is. So we can utilize it. All right, so let's try the last one, and it's going to be YouTube. All right, so let's type in YouTube logo. Let's see, here's that one that's similar. So I'm gonna click on that and press insert. So let's get the YouTube. Let's copy, and then we're gonna right click to show you that one, paste. Good. So I now have all 3 pages that I want to link to my page. So we have accomplished one of the goals to hyperlink to another web page. So we are going to press insert. But before we do that, we can add more. So they're going to come in one row. We can add more. So it's up to you based on what you want to add, but we try to keep it minimal. So let's go ahead and press insert. Now, once I press insert, you realize that it has small, so we can change it to medium. Circle, we already have the circular one, so we could select square, but you won't see the effect of it because it's already circle. Then you can have solid. Now, if it's a text, you can have the outline, but it's not. And so let's try that. See, you're not seeing the effects of it. Let's leave it at solid. And if you want to have gray, so forth, we can leave those. So I'm going to go ahead, remove the background there. I'm going to select second one so that it removes the white from the background. Let's drag this over into the center, so it's at the bottom of the page. So we have accomplished that much. Now, the last thing that I'm going to be doing on my home page is actually add my footer. Now, the footer is just a text, or I could have put my address, when it was created and all of that. So the copyright date and everything, those persons who participated in the creation of the website, I can list all of those things in the footer. Now, for now, I am just going to write my slogan, which is Area of Excellence. Also in the footer, you can put your map so that it comes on all pages, okay? So it's up to you what you want to do with the different features, but ensure that all of the required things according to the syllabus is actually in the website. So you can go on and you can add things, but ensure that what they're looking for is actually there. So let's change the size. All right, so let's put that at 18. I'm going to change the font color. I'm going to also center it. Let's make it bold. There's no need for the numbering list. There's no need for the bullet. So I'm going to leave those. And then I'm going to change the background. I'm going to make it yellow. Very good. Then I can click outside to exit the footer. All right, so we have accomplished a few of the things that are set out in the CXC syllabus. All right, so we're going to be moving on to the About Us page. So we're going to go pages, About Us, and we're going to just write a few little things on this page to also demonstrate some of the features that you are supposed to do. So where you're supposed to use wrap text, I'm going to show you how that's done when it comes onto Google Sites. So we're going to go to images. Now we're going to have text box, and I'm going to insert that text box here. I'm going to have right click and paste, or Control and V, and I'm just going to paste a small little message there. Now on your site you may have more information, but that's just a small paragraph that I've added. And I'm going to change the background from white because it stands out too much. So I'm going to do style to where it copies the color, so it's transparent. And then I'm going to add an image. So I'm going to go to images. I'm going to select. I'm going to go to Google Images and I'm going to look for About Us. I'm going to try not to use the one that I used before on the home page. So of all of them, I think I'll work with this one. Select it and then insert. It's going to go below. So I want it to be beside it. Now with Google Sites, you can't move it to the middle. It has to either go to the front of the text, the before, the after, or underneath it. Now, underneath it means that it's going to be very big. That's not what I want. So I'm going to undo that and I can put it to the front or the back. So here's it at the front. Here's it at the back. I can minimize this some more. So minimize this to about here. And then I can maximize this a little bit more. So uncrop it. So there we go. That's how we wrap text in on Google Slides. All right, so we have added that. Now I'm going to add another section that's for the owner's information. So again, I'm going to change that to style 3. Use the font style that I've been using so far. But first, let me change this to a heading and then change it to the font style I want. I'm going to add owner's information. Then I'm going to go in. At this point, I'm going to actually upload an image. So I go and upload. Now, I'm going to get that image from my local drive. So I have to look for it. So I found the folder. So it's in that folder. Here it is. So I'm going to open. Now it's going to give me a background and the size, full size. So I'm going to crop the image. So let's just crop it a bit. That's about it. The crop here doesn't work like how it works in Word, that you can adjust the sides and crop it down. It's you're gonna have to zoom and then adjust it accordingly. If it's not adjusted properly, you can uncrop it. When you're through, you can select uncrop. So I'm going to add a text right here, but it's gonna go in the next row. So I'll just move it. So let's move it to here. All right, so let's just click on it. It's a little bit tricky sometimes. So let's just pull it up a little. Put it right here. Now it has a white background. I'm going to make it transparent. So I'm going to use style 2. And then I'm going to add. So let's use the bullet points for the first time. So let's just add name. Now I could put it beneath the image, but this is how you can put it. So it has the image to one side and then the text to another. So the text can go before or after, above or below, but it cannot go in between like Word. Okay, so name, position. Then we're going to add qualification. Just adding a few little information to make it look appropriate. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your audience and making sure that the right information is there for your audience to see. And then geographics. All right, so I just put something simple. So again, you can put it before, can put it above, but you know that what's going to happen when it's above, it distorts it a little bit. or you can just let it stay where it is. I can bring it over a little bit more, as you can see, adjust the size. All right, so we have put in the owner's information. So we're going to move on to add contact us below that. So I'm going to insert another text box. Now I want to point out that with the email can be, let me just show you for the time being. So heading, change this, contact us, change that to style 3, and then I'm going to use a text box again, and I'm going to add telephone number, and then I'm going to put email address. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is that there are ways in which you can actually add a telephone number, an image, and a telephone number by making it clickable. Now, in order for you to do that, you're going to have to, I'm showing you a site that actually has the codings for that. But as you can see, what happens when you actually type the embedded code. So this would be HTML coding. So you'd have to write that in embed, and it gives you these. When you have an image in your drive, you can have a website that has that image. You can write it into the source of it. But many times the buttons, when it comes on to the sites that have been created, it's a little bit tricky when it comes on to telephone number being added onto it. So there are sites that are available to assist with that, but we're not making much emphasis on that at this moment. All right, so we have our telephone number here, and then we have email. Now I want to point out that with the email, once you have at gmail.com, at yahoo.com, at mail, and you press enter, it automatically recognizes it as an hyperlink. So if I should hover over it, click on it, I will see mail to, and it has the email address. Now, if I had an image, I could have also click on insert link and type in mail to and have the email address, and it will do the same with an image. So let's just adjust this and make it transparent. And I believe we have completed all of the information for the About Us page. So we have one more page to go, and then we are finished. As you would recognize, we're ensuring that content is on every page, and the content that is there, we maintain how it looks, the consistency. We make sure that it's appealing to the users, as well as you can read the content, and the layout suits the audience that we will be having. All right, so next up is the service page. So we have only one area to look at, and that's hyperlink to sections within the page itself, the web page itself. That's the one task we have left according to the syllabus. So we're going to go in and we're going to just talk about some of the services that are provided by the business. So I'm going to be using some of the options here. So I'm going to use a single one here. So I want to add an image. So I'm going to select an image. So we're going to be talking about our extra classes. So let's see if I can have a image for extra class. So that's, as I said, we're very limited when it comes on to Google, because these would be the ones that are not copyright. So I'm just going to use one right here, insert. All right. So I'm going to make sure that this is on heading, and I am going to be writing extra classes. Let's change this, highlight it, and change it to the text we have been using so far. Change the to transparent. Sorry about that. And classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So that's just a few things. I could add more, but just as I said, just a whole text. And then what I'm going to be doing after this, I'm going to add another content block. Now for this content block, I want the image to be on this side. So let's just drag it over, release it. Now this I'm going to change to a heading, change the font style to the one I want from the get-go. And then I'm going to have personal tutor, get a picture, select, and then this is going to be Google image, personal tutor. Hopefully I find an image. All right, so I use this one, insert. All right, so I have personal tutor. Again, changing transparent. And the last one that I'm going to have for our service is, let's use this one with it. I'm going to be adding homework service. All right, so I'm going to change this. It's going to be heading, change this, write a small text. All right, then we're going to add an image, select, Google search, homework. Let's see if we can get one for homework. Let's scroll. Let's use this one, insert. All right, so let's change the background to transparent. So I've added 3 services that are provided by the business, but we need to actually have the link so that you can click and it carry you to each section. Actually get the links that you need for the buttons to be able to move to the sections is to actually publish the site, because it's only when you have published the site you'll be able to see the links to each section. Now we ensured that they were all headings, so they will create a section, an anchor, so that you can actually copy that link and paste it to your buttons, and then it can take you to the different sections. So you have to publish first. So what we're going to be doing is to actually go ahead and publish. But just to make sure that you're very clear of what is at the top, because we have never mentioned, is to undo, redo, preview. That's to see what you have done so far and what persons will see in the laptop version, the phone version, the tablet version. If you want to actually copy the link of the site when it's published, if you want to add someone, so like for your SBA, you can add all of your team members to the site and you guys can all work together on the different sections. And then you have your setting, the same navigation one that we went through, and the other parts. You also have more where you can see the history, make a copy of the work, And then you have the other areas that are there for Google. So you have published afterwards. Now, once you publish it, it means that you can give the link to the site to someone and they can actually go and search for it. That's what publishing is. It may not be the fancy domain name that you're seeing, because many of those you would have to pay for, but you will be able to share that link with your teacher for the SBA, which we recommend screenshotting each section. Well, for us and my institution, recommend screenshotting the different sections and then putting it in Word so that we can see each page that you have. All right, but you must share with us that publish link so that we can actually get to click on it and go to that page. So you won't delete that site until after, maybe when you get results, or a couple months way beyond when you know that everything is final. Yes, but for now you keep it published. All right, so we're going to click on published. Now once we click publish, it says web address, so it will have https your stashes sites.google.com view, and then the name that you give it. So you won't be able to change the domain because you're not paying for that. Custom, you have to get that done. Who can view a site? Anyone. Request public search engine to not display this site. You can do that if you want to mean that persons can search to find it. So you're going to go ahead and you are going to select publish. Now, this is not an official site. It's not a business. This is just for each student to understand for the CSEC syllabus. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select publish. Now it's publishing. Now, once it's published, it says your site has been published successfully. Do you want to view? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select view. Now, this is what you are seeing. You will see the site, and because I removed the readability, you're seeing services, and if I scroll down, you're seeing my services that are offered. Now, what I need is I need this link. This is what I need. I need the heading link. So what I'm going to do is click on it so it has copied it. So I'm going to go back to my design and I am going to click on the top. So let's click at the top because I want to insert a button at the top. So I'm going to select button. I want to put the name. So that's for extra class. And I'm going to put the link. I'm going to Control and V and I'm going to insert. Now there's my button at the top. So I'm going to put in my extra lessons. I can put outline or just the text. So I'm going to put the first one as filled, and that's for extra lessons. So you can click and it should take you to this section. Let's go back and let's go down to personal tutor. Also have the link. Click. Once you click, let's go back down. Click, copied, go back to the page that we're working on. You're going to put in another button, personal tutor, and we're going to Control and V, insert. It's going to go below it. So let's just drag it and put it beside. So I'm going to extend it. Now what I want to do is make sure that it's even so that it looks presentable. This time I'm going to put outline. And then the last one that I'm going to do is my third service. So I'm going to scroll down, over homework. The link should come up. And then I'm going to press on copy. Now I'm going to go back to that design view, get my button, and I'm going to put homework services. And then I'm going to Control and V for paste. And I'm going to insert again. It moves it outside. So let's just put it here. I'm going to expand it. Good. And let it be filled. So it creates a pattern at the top. So once I click on these options, it should take me to the different sections, seeing that I have placed them as heading. So I'm going to go now back to my published site. I can click here to go back and edit. Only my email will allow for that to happen, or the persons I shared it with. All right, so let's close that. Again, let me highlight the share. So if I click on share, it should bring up where I can add the emails of the persons who I want to be able to adjust it, okay? So only persons who have access will be able to look at the draft, but when it's published, anybody on the internet can look at it. So I can put in the email address of the persons I want. All right, so I'm just going to close that, press done, and I have added all of my 3 pages to the site. I have ensured that the layout is consistent, the text is consistent. I have ensured that it is user friendly for the persons who are going to be using my site. And there are 3 sites there. So what am I going to do? I did adjust this section of it. And so because I did adjust it, I am going to have to republish the site. So I'm going to click on I can click on the drop down beside it to go in publish setting, review and publish. I can click on this to see what I changed, then republished. I can view the published site, or I can unpublish if I wish to do further changes. Mind you can change it and then review and publish, or if you want, you can unpublish it altogether and work on it. But I would recommend that you leave it as review and change and stay published. So anything you want to add after you have published it to get those links, then you review and change. All right. So let us review and publish. So it's going to review what was on the draft, what was currently published, and this is what's on the draft that wasn't on publish. Good. So I'm just going to update services and I'm going to select publish. So all pages have been completed and I've ensured that they're appropriate, the links are in, and I'm going to be evaluating now the usability of it and verifying the hyperlinks. And I may ask someone to test the site to see if they're comfortable with it. So testing the audience, as well as I'm going to ensure that the data is up to date. All right. So that's what is going to be done next. I'm going to go back to home and we're going to actually copy the publish site and just go through to check to ensure that all the hyperlinks work, ensure that there's accuracy, because before you can get it out there, you have to ensure that the information is accurate, it's up to date, the links are working, because even after months or years of having a website, you have to go back through and adjust these things. You have to maintain your website so that persons can actually have accurate information. All right, so I'm going to copy the published site link, or I could have gone and view the published site. So there are 2 ways, but like I want you to know how to copy it to share. So let's copy the link. So let's copy, and we are going to go to new tab and let us Control and V. Let's paste. I'm going to close the one that I'm editing now. So once you open it, this is what you will see. Now you're able to search. That's by default. The search bar comes up so you can search. But we have our heading. You can clearly see what it's about. We have our menu to the side, the 3 pages, the name of the page. If we had a logo, it will actually would have come up right here. This would have been my logo, but as I said, it's already here, so there's no need to add it here. The address, and the telephone number. Now this is where it's not accurate, because the telephone number here is not the same as what I had placed under the other page. So it means that I'm going to have to go back to my page and edit that. All right, so here we are. So we have the welcome to the creative space website guide. It has about us. So let's click on that to see if it works. So good. It goes to the about us page, a little bit about us. and then it has the owner's information, and then the contact us. So this is where I was talking about my makeup telephone number, and then the email. So let's see if the email works. So once I click on that, it has the mail to. So let's see if that actually works. So let's see. Now it's opening in Outlook. Here we go. So it's coming up in mail. So it's opening in mail. So that's good. So let's go back to home. As you know, we're checking. So I found one error. So that means that I'm going to have to update that. Then we have services. So it should take me to the services page. Now it's taking me to that. So this is extra. So it's redirecting. So it takes me to the extra pages, or sorry, extra class. So let's go back here. Let's go to, and it's redirecting me to the section in the page. Now what it's doing is that it is not opening in the same area. It's opening in a new tab. All right. So let's just scroll back up. Let's click on homework services, and you see that it is going to bring me to the homework section, but it is not bringing me to the same, in the same page, in the same tab. So it is bringing me there, but it's just one of the features of Google Sites where it's going to take you to a new, it's going to open to a new page. All right, but the links actually work. All right. So we have our photo. Let's go back to home. Let's close this one. Let's scroll down. So all of our hyperlinks worked. We're going to go to employment form. So we can click on this option. It should open to a new tab and bring us to the drive. So we have the employment fillable forms. So we can actually click on the download button and get that form. So here it is a fillable form. We can download it. Let's see if this button actually works as well. That link. And it does. All right. So the last set of things that we want to test, and I could have placed these in my photo, could have been done. So let us go to that. It's redirecting. It's going to LinkedIn. Very good. So let's just close that. Let's just try the Instagram. It is redirecting to the page. Let's see if it comes up. Good. Let's try the YouTube. Let's wait for that to load. And there it is. Awesome. So only one thing we have to correct, and that's the telephone number. So we have evaluated the accuracy. It's user friendly because I was able to, but it is good to actually have someone who has no knowledge about the site to actually look at it and test all of the links, so that if they're comfortable going through it, you can know that it is user friendly, because once you created it, you're going to know where to click and what to do. So we'll have someone to check that for me. I did verify that the information is up to date. So I have only one thing to sort out, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's quickly just click on the edit, go to telephone. So let's go to pages and about us, scroll down. Let's change that telephone number. Good. Then, as I said, we can press back publish, but it's going to show us what we changed. Or we can click on the drop down box. You realize I did not unpublished. I just made the change and then I republish it by clicking on published. But it's going to show me what I changed. So it's going to show the review. All right, it's going to show the review that I updated about us. And I'm going to just go ahead and press publish. So we have done all of that. So just to run through everything, we have ensured that there are 3 pages. Content is on each page. The layout of the web page is very similar. The color scheme, everything that we have been doing, make sure that there's consistency. The design is user friendly, in my opinion. It makes sure that it is appeasing to the eyes, and aesthetically pleasing. We inserted and well as deleted text because, as you can see, we had the text box, we deleted them. We had a text here, we deleted that. Then we had the home page having hyperlink. So we have hyperlink on the home page, right? We also have links to another web page. So we do have on the same web page, but we also have on the about, not the about us, sorry, the home page. We also have links to other web pages such as LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. So we have got that done. We have linked to our email address. So as again, just to recap, the email address, once you type it, it is going to appear with the mail to. Once the at Gmail, Yahoo, etc. is there, we can put an image and have mail to, put colon the email, and then we apply it. So that can be done with an image. We also added our own created document. That is also on the home page, where we created a button for it. Again, we could have used insert and put the click on drive, sorry, like here. And as you can see, all of the documents that are on driver comes up. Can go on it and all of them. So you can click here to have the form itself being placed on the site. So you don't have to have a button to do that. Good. We also looked on adding links to areas within the website. And we did that by making sure that they're all headings. Then we publish, click on the anchor to actually get the link for each section. Then we go to our editor's version and we actually applied using buttons. So we have covered all of the things as well as we have tested to see if it is done okay, everything is okay. So we have come to the end of our web page design, and we're using Google Sites. Now you're free to use Wix, you are free to use Weeble, you are free to use WordPress, you're free to use Word. Now this is just one site that is free that we can actually use. And so thank you for watching today, and I hope you learned something. All the best in your SBA completion, all the best in your exams.